Hello and welcome to my e-lesson. I'm your guru and in this video I'm going to tell you about 10 Excel formulas that are used in any office in the world. Those things are how to make reports, how to analyze data, how to calculate percentages, how to calculate averages, how to remove duplicates, how to compare two lists, how to delete blank rows, how to print a very large data in one sheet, and how to make drop down list, and how to merge data from multiple sheets. In this video, I am going to tell you all of these aspects. Alright? So let's start. MIS reports. A lot of people ask me how to create an MIS report and that we need to learn a lot of advanced formatting and functioning to create good looking MIS report. I say that is bullshit. Yes, mark my words, that is bullshit. This is a MIS report that I have created for you for the marks of student 1 for these respective subjects: maths, English, science, Hindi and history. And all these 5 charts are showing the same data in different way. MIS is nothing but visualization or visual representation of your data. You can use simple charts which are available to show your data and show it meaningfully. That's the point. You don't need some flashy looking charts. All you need to do is showcase your data so that the other person who is looking at it is able to understand. See, in this chart, I have shown student 1's marks in these subjects in a bar chart and I have formatted it to look like this. Now, this is also doing the same thing. The size of these boxes is correlating to the marks. History is 86, it has the biggest box. Then you have 74 for science, it has another very big box. See, similarly, English 70 marks. Over here I have used a pie chart which shows a breakup of the marks in percentages. Here I have used a column chart with a different formatting and the way the marks are being shown over here. And this is a line chart. Isn't this looking good? So this is a MIS report. Let me show you how to create one yourself. You can go to even myelesson.org, that's my website, and see such videos for free over there or even buy our courses. Now I have the same data over here. I'm going to select this section. All right. I'm going to insert, and the best thing to do is first of all go to recommended charts. It will show you the best charts that you could use. This is one chart I'm using. Okay. Okay. Bring it over here. Again, go to recommended charts. Go to insert. Go to recommended charts. Select the other one. I'm telling you, Excel does the job for you automatically. Where did my other chart go? Recommended charts, and I get my column chart now. Here it is. I'll resize them later. I'll select this data again. Go to insert, go to recommended charts and choose the third one. Okay. All right. Now I'll click over here again. Go to insert and choose a line chart. My MIS report is ready. Now I'll select all these charts together by clicking on them and try to resize them together. See? I'll select all three again, these three, and I'll try to move them. See? I'll click out and then I'll be able to move every one of them individually. Ready, correct? Now all you need to do is click on the chart, go to this design section and start choosing the designs that you like the most. This one. I'll show you more formatting options. See? From here you get amazing looking charts. Now, once you have clicked in them, any of the charts, go to quick layout. And from here, select how you want your data to be shown. See? like this. Then over here, go to quick layout. Choose a one that you like. This one. Similarly for this one, I'll go to quick layout. Isn't this cool? See, this is how very easily you can create MIS reports. I have created around 20 videos on MIS reports. They are an intermediate and advanced level also. All right. Now, you don't need to know all that to create a MIS report. This is simple. This is good enough. This shows the data in a meaningful manner, isn't it? And in case you want to see advanced MIS videos, you can go to the links in the description or go to my website and see them. All right. How you can count cells which have duplicate values across two columns. Like we have the names of products over here and the sales for these products for January and February. We want to find out now how many products got same number of sales in January and February. Like product 2 got 33 sales in January and 33 sales in February. Similarly, product 6 got 67 sales in January and 67 sales in February. All right. So we are trying to find two cells which have the same values in two columns. Well, this can be done in multiple ways. The easiest way to do is something which I will teach you now is with this sum product formula, which is an array formula but can be applied super easily. All right. To practice along, you can go to myelesson.org and in the download section, download this file to practice along. All right. You can pause the video now and download it. Now, if you see, I have applied the formula over here. It says sum product bracket and what is this? Two minus symbols and then this row is equal to this row. And I'm getting the answer. Now, how come this is working? Let me show you. Now, I first applied for you is equal to sum product, which says returns the sum of the products of corresponding ranges or arrays. So it will return the sum of those cells which have similar values in these two columns. All right, that's what it's going to do. Now I will put two minus symbols. I'll just tell you why. But before that, I will open the bracket again and then type in, then select this range, type in is equal to, and then select this range. So now I am closing the brackets and I'm telling sum product formula to go ahead and first of all find how many cells are equal to each other. And I'm asking this sum formula and I'm asking this sum product formula to go ahead and match each cell with the corresponding cell in the next column. And if you find cells which have same values across the columns next to each other, then only count them. All right. And now I am pressing enter and I get the answer as 2. Now if I make this also 65, I get the answer as 3. See? If I make this as 38, this is 4. Now if I go to evaluate formula, what will happen? See? This is important for you to understand. I go to formulas, I select the cell, I go to evaluate formula, and here is my formula that I wrote, correct? I click on evaluate. Now, after the minus, wherein I had selected this range is equal to this range, this one, it says false, true, false, true, false, true, correct? Wherever it finds the values to be same across two cells, then it is true. Now,
To get these trues and false converted into ones and zeros, I used these two minus symbols. All right. So that is the logic of having these two minus symbols. These two minus symbols will convert the trues and the false into ones and zeros, and the ones will be added, and we will get the answer as 1, 2, 3, 4, which is it, 4.
Creating drop down lists. Now, this is the product and the quantity you have. Over here, you need to mention certain products, and those products are pizza, burger, soda, and rice. All right. Now, you would have to type them every time over here, but there is a simple way of creating drop down list. How? Let me show you. I'll go to data, I'll go to data validation. All right. And from here, I'll choose list, and then I'll click in this source column and click outside in this range, and then select the area which contains my data. I'll click OK, and my drop down list is ready. I can copy this drop down list, see, and extra values can be deleted. Now my drop down is ready. It's easy, right? Now we will learn how to calculate percentages. And now let's learn how to delete all blank rows. Alright, now this is the data wherein there are a lot of rows which are blank, correct? Now we are not talking about blank cells, we are talking about full blank rows. How do we select them together and delete them? Well, there is a very simple way. For that, we will have to create a helper column. So I will just name it helper, okay? We will delete this column later, and we will apply a formula called counter. It counts the number of cells in a range which are not empty. So I'll simply select this range, okay, one row at a time. And now we know that there are cells in this range which contain numbers. Whatever you get over here, if there is a number greater than 0, then that row is not blank. I'll copy this. Now this row is completely blank, we got 0. So this is what we are looking for. We need to find rows which have zeros. Okay. Now we will apply a filter. Simple. Apply a filter from here. Select all the rows which have zeros, and now select these together and delete them. Delete row. They are gone. Remove the filter, select all, and now you can take away the filter from here again. Delete this column. Get the formatting back like this, and you are done. Isn't this cool? Now, if you want to print a very large data in one sheet, so this is a very large set of data, correct? So if I go to print it, it will take many pages, approximately 5 pages, if not more. So how can I print it in one single sheet? I know it might not be readable, but sometimes you have to do that, correct? So we'll go to the print option. I'll press Ctrl P. And now we know that it will take 10 pages. I'll set the orientation accordingly. So I'll take it to landscape orientation. Okay, this looks better. I'll set the margins to narrow. Alright, this looks much better now. And then I'll go to scaling. Currently we see that there will be 9 pages that will be printed. I'll go to scaling and I'll choose fit sheet on one page. Now everything is on one page. See, 1 of 1. Now you can print it. That is how you can print all of your Excel sheets data in one page. Alright. Now let me tell you how you can remove duplicates. Many a times we get data which has a lot of duplicate values, and we might have to remove the duplicates. So I'll tell you how to remove duplicates from a column. So I'll select this. All right, let me copy it over here for you. So I'll select this numbers, and then I'll go to data. I'll go to remove duplicates. All right, it will ask me, okay, which column do you want to work on? So this is the column I want to work on. I click OK, and it will say 5 duplicate values found and removed. Automatically it removed them. See, this is the same list which had 10 numbers. Now it has only 5 numbers. This works best with one column at a time. So I would suggest you go one column at a time rather than going for a range. All right. Now let us learn how to calculate averages. A lot of people ask me how to calculate averages, so I thought it should be really important to all of you, so I have added this in this video. Now to calculate averages, let's say these are the sales for day 1, day 2, day 3, okay? So we have days 1 to 10 and these are the sales for these days. I want to find the average sales. How do I do that? I'll use a very simple formula called average is equal to AVERAGE. I'll open the bracket and I'll select this data. I'll close the bracket, press enter. That's my average, 72.9. Super easy. You can find averages of multiple ranges also. So I'm going to copy this data in multiple ranges like this. Okay. So now if I want to find average, what will it be? Is equal to AVERAGE, open the bracket, select this, press comma, select this, press comma, select this, close the bracket. Here is the average. See? Easy, right? So if it is a continuous line of data, you can do that also. It is a broken data, you can do that also. Now, let me show you how to find percentages. Now, I've taken a very simple example of marks. So somebody has received 62 marks out of 100. So what is the percentage? 62, but how is it calculated? Correct? So the way is that you click is equal to, all right, then divide the marks or the number by the maximum numbers that could have been achieved. That is 100. You get 0.62. All right. Now you go to the home tab and convert it into percentage. So now if I want to find out what is 34 of say 67, all right, I'm going to just copy the format. Then you will click is equal to, select 34 divided by 67 and then click percentage. There is another way that you can format a cell beforehand into a percentage format. So this is the cell, all right, I'm going to color it and I formatted it to a percentage format. Now if I do is equal to 34 divided by 67, it is automatically coming in percentage because I went ahead and did that. So this is how we calculate percentages. Now these were the 10 most used Excel formulas in any office in the world. Alright, I'm sure there can be other formulas also which are used regularly, but these are the most common ones. Well, I hope you liked this video. If you did, please do like it and share it with your friends. And do subscribe to the channel. Until the next video now, this is your Guru signing off for the day. Have a wonderful day ahead. Happy learning.